Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. US President Donald Trump is hopeful that the US and European nations will reach a deal on Greenland that would satisfy both sides. He reiterated the need to acquire Greenland for national security, but refused to answer how far he was willing to go for it. When asked if he is ready to risk the breakup of NATO to take control of Greenland, Trump said the US and NATO allies would eventually reach an agreement on the future of Greenland. US President Donald Trump is expected to use a key address in Davos to highlight his administration's accomplishments. Speaking to the press, he gloated about the tremendous success his administration has managed to achieve in just a year. Previously, the White House has said that Trump's remarks would focus on Trump's affordability agenda, particularly on housing, in a meeting occupied with global elites and billionaires. Trump also said he needed to advise other countries on energy and immigration. Donald Trump has lashed out against Britain. He has accused it of committing an act of total weakness and great stupidity over its plans to return the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. The Chagos Islands in the Indian Ocean are currently part of the British Indian Ocean Territory. The UK created this colony in 1965, carving it out from Mauritius just 3 years before it received its independence. The US has used the base to launch aircraft to bomb Afghanistan during the 2000s. It serves a pivotal location from where both the US and the UK can project force in the Indian Ocean region. Residents in St. Paul, Minnesota surrounded vehicles of immigration agents and confronted them. This after the government urged a judge to reject efforts to stop the immigration enforcement surge that has roiled Minneapolis and St. Paul for weeks. The Justice Department called the state's lawsuit, filed soon after the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good by an immigration officer, legally frivolous. Good was shot by ICE agents on January 7th as she was moving her vehicle, which allegedly blocked the street where ICE officers were operating. President Donald Trump said US officials believe they know where the last deceased hostage is being held in Gaza. Trump revealed this at a White House briefing on his first-year accomplishments. This as Israel resisted moving to phase 2 of Trump's Gaza plan until Hamas returned the hostage's body and its weapons. Meanwhile, Israel demolished structures inside the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency's East Jerusalem compound after seizing the site last year. Fighting between Syrian forces and Kurdish fighters has come to a grinding halt. Both sides have agreed to a 4-day ceasefire. During this 96-hour window, Syrian government and Kurdish forces will discuss integration of Hasaka province with the state. Both sides have formally accepted the ceasefire. Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces say they will not initiate attack until and unless they are attacked. Syria's defense ministry has said the ceasefire will be in effect and will remain in place for 4 days. The decision comes after US urged Kurdish fighters to lay down their arms and accept the integration with Damascus. Russia and US envoys held a meeting on resolving the war in Ukraine on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Both sides described the talks as constructive. The discussions come following overnight strikes on Ukraine's energy grid, which crippled the capital. Thousands of homes and even the parliament building remain without heating and water in sub-zero temperatures. Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev said more and more people now understand the fairness of the Russian position after talks with Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. The UK government has greenlit China's goals to build a mega embassy in the heart of London. This has angered residents and rights groups and also reignited internal security concerns. British security services are now scrambling to remove every potential risk posed by the new site. Security agencies have reportedly drawn up plans to relocate critical internet cables away from the new mega embassy. The plans include relocation of fiber optic cables that carry financial and internet data between the City of London and Canary Wharf. But MI5 has warned that it was unrealistic to remove every potential risk and eliminate the risk of espionage. At least one person was killed and dozens left injured when a Barcelona commuter train crashed after a retaining wall fell onto the tracks. The crash took place in northeastern Spain's Catalonia, near the town of Gelida in Barcelona province. Sources say the passing train got derailed after a wall alongside the railway line collapsed suddenly and damaged the driver's cab. The latest train crash comes just 2 days after a train collision that killed at least 42 people in the country's south. The accident took place some 800 kilometers away from the current accident site. Emergency workers are still searching for victims in the wreckage from the weekend accident. Motorcyclists protested on the streets of Lima early this week against a new traffic regulation that prohibits two people from riding on a single motorcycle. Such a measure is aimed at combating rising crime in Peru. Demonstrators rode in a motorcade holding signs declaring they were not criminals. Some protesters expressed frustration that law-abiding citizens were being penalized for the actions of criminals who used motorcycles in extortion and assassination attacks. Protesters included families who use motorcycles as well as delivery workers. Many argued the regulation unfairly targets working families rather than addressing the root cause of poor security. Peruvian President José Jerry has been asked to appear before Congress to clarify meetings he held with a Chinese businessman outside of his official agenda. The case is being investigated by the public prosecutor in a new political scandal rocking the country. Jerry assumed power in October after the expulsion of former President Dina Boluarte. The next day, he sent a letter to Congress requesting to participate in the Legislative Oversight Committee that is also investigating him for the meetings. Jerry's meetings with businessman Xihua Yang, who owns commercial stores and a concession for an energy project, prompted criticism over a lack of transparency and potential corruption. Chilean President-elect Jose Antonio Cas named economist Jorge Quiros as finance minister. This makes him part of a cabinet that includes two lawyers who defended dictator Augusto Pinochet, a move that has revived tensions over human rights ahead of his inauguration. Cast also named Daniel Mas to head the mining ministry. Chile is the world's largest copper producer and the second largest lithium producer. In India's Greater Noida, a builder has been arrested for alleged homicide due to negligence in connection to the death of a 27-year-old software engineer. This comes after an FIR registered against two real estate developers over serious safety lapses in a construction site. The police arrested Abhay Kumar, one of the builders of the site, where the young techie Yuvraj Mehta died of drowning after his car fell into a water-filled pit. The post-mortem report of the deceased techie reveals the cause of death as asphyxia followed by cardiac arrest. JD Vance and wife Usha Vance announced they're expecting their fourth child due in late July. The joint statement released by the couple says that both Usha and the baby are doing well. JD Vance and Usha met at Yale Law School. Both got married in 2014 and welcomed their first child, WION, in 2017. In 2020, they welcomed their second son, Vivek, and in 2021, they welcomed their daughter, Mirabel. The new season of the Global Champions Arabian Tour began in emphatic fashion in Abu Dhabi. The opening round came under the scrutiny of a highly experienced judging panel tasked with selecting the very best among the world's finest purebred Arabian horses. In the yearling filly championship, Malika Al Arab of Khitan Stud, Qatar captured the gold medal following a deserved victory in the final. The horse finished with a comfortable margin ahead of Shalwa Al Adwan from Al Jumail Stud, who claimed silver, while Selim El Bidayer of the UAE secured the bronze medal. More than 500,000 people in southern and central Mozambique have been hit by flooding after weeks of heavy rain. United Nations say the floods have damaged roads and health facilities, leaving the main road linking Maputo to the rest of the country inaccessible. Heavy rains and storms have battered Mozambique and neighboring South Africa for weeks. According to authorities, at least 150 people have died from floods and extreme weather. Flooding in Tunisia has killed at least 4 people, with one official reporting a critical condition. This as parts of the North African country experienced their heaviest rainfall in more than 70 years. Heavy flooding inundated homes, leaving residents surrounded by rising waters as the deluge continues to seep indoors. Interiors have suffered extensive damage. This has underscored the seriousness of the crisis, pointing to the mounting impact of extreme weather across the region. Delhi's air quality has improved slightly, moving from the severe category to very poor. While authorities have lifted GRAP Stage 4 restrictions, but pollution levels remain dangerously high. Relief is to be expected only later this week. Yesterday, the city's average air quality index stood at 378, down from the 410 the previous day. With the improvement, authorities rolled back GRAP Stage 4 measures, including the ban on BS4 trucks entering Delhi and hybrid schooling for senior students. However, restrictions on BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel light motor vehicles in the National Capital Region remain in force. The Northern Lights illuminated the sky above Greenland's capital, Nuuk. Greenland has become a center of the global attention as US President Donald Trump continues to provoke a sweeping tariff fight with Europe to get his way in taking control. Greenland is an excellent destination for viewing the Northern Lights, also known as Aurora Borealis, best seen during the dark winter months from September to April. Its activity peaks often around the equinoxes in March and September, when skies are darkest. The Canary Wharf Winter Lights Festival returned for its 10th edition on January 20th. 16 light installations have been featured by artists from around the world. The free outdoor event in London includes immersive artworks around the theme Dreamscape. Artworks include a kaleidoscopic light box on a mirrored plinth, towering neon loops, and an illuminated hand powered by AI. The festival runs until January 31st. Asian markets extended their sell-off for a third straight session as global investors grew anxious over US political risks and a sharp retreat from American assets. Stocks across the region fell, led by Japan's Nikkei, while Wall Street futures stabilized slightly after steep overnight losses in the US. Markets were rattled by renewed Sell America fears, triggered by President Donald Trump's aggressive rhetoric on Greenland and fresh tariff threats towards Europe, raising concerns of a global trade war. Investors rushed into safe havens, pushing gold and silver to record highs. Bond markets showed tentative calm after a brutal rout. Japanese long-term yields pulled back from record highs, while US Treasury yields steadied. Oil prices fell early Wednesday trade as worries over rising US crude inventories overshadowed a temporary shutdown at two major oil fields in Kazakhstan. Brent crude dropped more than 1% to around $64 a barrel. The market eased after last session's gains, despite Kazakhstan halting output at the Jais, Tengiz and Korolev fields due to power issues. The stoppage is seen as temporary, with production expected to resume within days. Adding pressure, traders are bracing for a build of about 1.7 million barrels in US crude inventories, with official data due later this week. Geopolitical risks remain in focus as President Donald Trump renewed tariff threats tied to Greenland and tensions with Iran stay elevated. Still, for now, supply concerns are taking a backseat to inventory and demand worries. Spot gold surged past the key milestone of $4,800 an ounce for the first time on Wednesday, extending its rally as investors piled into safe haven assets. Analysts say rising political uncertainty and growing unease over US policies have driven demand for a bullion as a hedge against risk. A weaker US dollar has added further momentum, making gold more attractive to global investors. Market watchers note that confidence in US assets has been shaken, pushing gold into uncharted territory as one of the top beneficiaries of the current risk-off mood. The US dollar weakened to multi-week lows as renewed political tensions revived the so-called Sell America trade, triggering a broad sell-off in US assets. The greenback fell sharply against the euro and Swiss franc after President Donald Trump renewed tariff threats tied to Greenland, unsettling investors and denting confidence in US leadership. The dollar index posted its worst daily drop in 6 weeks. Wall Street stocks slid to one-month lows and Treasury yields jumped, underscoring the move out of US assets. Bristol Myers Squibb has signed an agreement with Microsoft to use the tech company's AI-enabled radiology platform to help speed up early detection of lung cancer. The collaboration will deploy US Food and Drug Administration cleared radiology AI algorithms through Microsoft's precision imaging network, which analyzes X-ray and CT images to help identify lung disease and is used by hospitals in the United States. Bristol Myers said the tools could help clinicians spot hard-to-detect lung nodules and identify some patients at earlier stages of the disease. Britain is considering an Australian-style ban on social media to better protect children, with Prime Minister Keir Starmer warning they risk being pulled into a world of endless scrolling, anxiety and comparison. Starmer said the government was prepared to take robust action a day after it said it would examine whether features such as infinite scrolling and the age at which children can access platforms should be restricted. The Labour government said it would examine evidence from around the world on suggested proposals, including looking at whether a social media ban for children would be effective and how best to make such a ban work if it were imposed. According to a Reuters report, Taiwan aims to build a democratic high-tech supply chain with the United States and form a strategic AI partnership under the new tariff deal it sealed with Washington last week. US President Donald Trump has pushed the major producer of semiconductors, which runs a large trade surplus with the US, to invest more in the country, specifically in chips that power AI. Under the terms of the long-negotiated deal, chip makers like TSMC that expand US production will incur a lower tariff on semiconductors or related manufacturing equipment and products they import into the US, and will be able to import some more items duty-free. Two-time champion Aryna Sabalenka has secured a place in the third round of the Australian Open. The top seed defeated Bai Zhou Xuan in the second round. Four-time Grand Slam winner Sabalenka raced to a 5-love lead in the first set against the qualifier. Bai briefly fought back, breaking Sabalenka in the seventh game to show some resistance. But Sabalenka quickly found her rhythm and went on to win the match 6-3, 6-1. Fashion enthusiasts, Romans and tourists paid tribute to Italian designer Valentino, who died a day earlier at the age of 93. Known in the industry as the Emperor, Valentino scaled the heights of haute couture and created one of the country's most celebrated luxury houses. He introduced a new color to the fashion world called the Valentino Red. The funeral will take place in Rome on Friday, January 23rd.